Okay, ladies, I'm incredibly excited about the opportunity to show you guys this. I have been working on David Lipscomb for some time now, and I'll be honest, it took several visits to the campus for me to figure out exactly where everything was. I continued to get confused about Johnson and Elam and where this particular building was, and so I hope this will be easier for you to understand than it was for me. And part of the reason I think it will be easier for you is because I have this, this general thought that it takes people 3 times. They have to hear something 3 times before they truly understand it. And let's consider this time 1. When you go see it on Saturday, it will be time 2. And by the time you get to Girls Day, you're going to be good to go because that will be time 3. So let's look real quickly at just some main components of the campus. And then I'm going to send you this map also so you can print this. I'll tell you that the map itself is, and I'm not showing you the whole thing at one time, the map is a tabloid size sheet of paper. So if you try to print it on regular letter, it will not print correctly. And if you rescale it, it will probably be so small that you can't read it. Just a heads up. So let's look at this real carefully here. So part of the deal is the campus is so much smaller than anything that we've ever been around before as far as MTSU is concerned. So it's very, very tiny. I mean, you're going to be able to walk from place to place less than 5 minutes, which is so exciting. We're going to save so much time in travel that we'll be able to put into city meetings and assemblies, and that's going to be really great. If we start right here in the center of campus, this is kind of the courtyard area at 16. It's flanked on either side by the Bennett Center and the Alumni Auditorium, also known as the Alumni Hall. Now, the Bennett Center is where we're going to be eating all of our meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, no separate meal sites. They claim that they can actually get us all in they can get 400 people in 15 to 20 minutes. Beth Fain is still holding her breath on that one. We hope for the sake of the schedule they can make that happen. I have faith that they can. We move a tremendous number of kids through our own cafeteria every single day. So that's exciting. It is a brand new facility, or it's at least been recently renovated, and it's really, really nice. Got an outdoor patio area, so I'm looking forward to that. We do have the bookstore back this year permanently, so the bookstore will always be housed right there near the cafeteria. We'll have to direct your girls in that direction. And then Alumni Hall, Alumni Auditorium, is where we're going to spend most of our time for assemblies. Now, the Alumni Hall is a little different than the DA. I mean, the DA's kind of traditional theater seating, and Alumni Hall is a lot more intimate. There's a lot of seats on the floor and almost as many seats in the balcony, which kind of wraps all the way around. So you've got people on either side of you in the balcony and in the back. Because of the difference of the auditorium compared to the DA, there's some changes that we're going to make to the assemblies, and I'll let Sherry, Michelle, and Lee tell you all about those. But it's exciting, to kind of go in a different direction. Now, aside from these 2 rooms where you're going to spend a tremendous amount of your time, you're probably concerned about where exactly will you be living. There are 3 different dorms that we're going to be using: Elam, Johnson, and High Rise. So we'll start over here in alphabetical order. Elam actually is going to contain first floor staff. So if you need to drop something off for the staff, it's really just a quick run past the cafeteria or past Alumni Hall. The second floor is going to be Blunt Crockett, and the third floor is going to be Davis Gray. There are dividing areas on the floor, so you can actually shut doors and separate your city with the shut doors. Or you could leave the entire area open as a county and just have signs up that say you're now entering, Crockett City. Speed limit is changed to, 3 miles an hour. So I think this is a great opportunity to do a lot more work in counties, having the group stay together like this. In Johnson, we have another county, so we have Greene and Houston together here. Johnson, they're actually going to be staying in a portion of the dorm called New Johnson. It's the one that's been renovated as opposed to Old Johnson, which has not. We honestly didn't spend much time in any of these rooms because we didn't think we were going to use this dorm. So I can't tell you much about them. I'm excited about seeing them on Saturday. And then the last group, the last majority of the group, in fact, is going to be staying in High Rise, and this is most similar to Corlew and Cummings from the old MTSU side of campus. You're going to have no one on the first or second floor, quite frankly, because the floor would not accommodate a full city, and we did not want to split a city up. So you have Houston through Taylor. Poor Taylor. Maybe this will be the last year they have to do that. And this dorm is actually the best as far as city hall space goes. They've got an area that opens up right off of the elevator, huge square area, more square than rectangular. It's perfect for a city hall. Johnson, like I said, I'm not sure about city hall space, and I do know for a fact that Elam's city hall space is pretty sparse. And so from the very beginning, when we knew Elam had to be one of our choices, we decided it was going to be imperative that we ask Naomi, who's been working with us, that we have access to the classrooms the whole time we're there. So if you're here in Elam and you're on the second and third floor, you are going to walk really quickly over to Burton Hall, which is where all your classroom space will be. Burton Hall's on the back of the Alumni Hall. It's actually the pharmacy school, and it's great. Brand new classrooms, wonderful classrooms. You can even have your city meeting, that Sunday city meeting that lasts so long. You can even have it in the classrooms instead of sitting on the floor in City Hall. Same thing goes for Johnson. You guys have a really quick walk from Johnson right over here to Swang. If you're in high rise, Hudson and Overton, since they have the fewest number of stairs to actually take, they're going to be walking over to Ezell, and Ezell is right over here in the far corner. I don't even think you can see it with this particular view, but Ezell is probably the showcase for the school. That's where they take everybody. It's a brand new building on campus, really, really high tech. So Hudson and Overton will walk here. A lot of the whistle stops will be in Ezell. So that's going to be an important building for all of us. And the rest of the high-rise, Robertson through Taylor, we're going to be walking to Swang. Now, Swang, these are kind of traditional classrooms in Swang, traditional tiered classrooms. And since David Lipscomb is a small liberal arts school, they don't really have need for really large classrooms. They have a couple of huge theaters in Swang, but most of their classrooms seat about 42. And so we're kind of running on a bit of a deficit there. There are about 3 cities that are going to have to really make do with a few extra chairs on the ends of the tables. So think about BAS, a little more tiered than BAS, so a little more steep, and not quite as new. Still swivel chairs, still the whole kit and caboodle, but these chairs are attached, if you can imagine that. But the most exciting thing is honestly that you'll be able to have access to this classroom. It will be the same classroom. So your city meeting room will not change from Monday through Saturday. It will not change. It will be exactly the same. On this end of campus, the other building that's really important for us is going to be the Allen Arena. This is actually where we're going to have Olympics. It is just as nice as the Murphy Center, but smaller. The one thing it doesn't have that Murphy Center does have are access to all the ancillary gyms kind of on the bottom. We have access to them in the Student Activity Center, and I don't know if we're going to use them because they're all the way out and around and no one can watch what's going on. I know that Allison Jarrett and her committee have been talking. I know Allison has talked to Naomi Lutz at Lipscomb, and she's working out a plan to make Olympics fit with this particular arena, and I think it's going to be fabulous. And a couple last things I really wanted to mention. The villages, because we have so many moms, grandmoms, and babies coming. The moms and babies are going to be staying in the villages, which is right next to Elam. These are great little apartments, and so that'll be fabulous. And then the very last room, if I can get over here to the chapel, there it is. The very last room we need to talk about is the Acuff Chapel. One day, Saturday morning, we really are going to need to be out of the Alumni Hall so that the Vesper team can work on Rock and Reminisce. So we're going to have our very last assembly, our Saturday morning assembly, not our last, but the last before Rock and Reminisce, in the Acuff Chapel. It holds about 550 people, so we're going to be tight, and I do mean tight. We don't know what we're going to do with counselors as far as where we're going to seat you. We're going to figure that out when we get there. But know that Girls State Game Show will occur in this particular area, and that's on the David Lipscomb K-12 school campus as opposed to the university campus. I hope that helps. I'm going to send you this, like I said, so you can actually look over it again and listen to the video again if you think that'll be helpful for you. But by the time you get there on Saturday, you're going to be an expert in it. I can't wait to see you guys. Don't hesitate to email me if you have some questions.